Nyawis Gugwego, Hedonte Niga. So, hello everyone. My name is Dr. Rodney Harry. I'm Seneca from the Cattaraugus territory of the Seneca Nation of Indians, which is located about 30 miles south of Buffalo, New York, on the state side. And we are a member nation of the Haudenosaunee, or the people of the Longhouse. In the textbooks, you may have heard of us as the Iroquois or the Iroquois, but we ourselves refer to ourselves as the Haudenosaunee, or people of the Longhouse. And our people on the state side span all the way across New York, ancestrally and traditionally into what's now Pennsylvania, and then across the river into what's now Ontario and Quebec. And so thank you for the opportunity to share. I also want to mention that I'm the director for the Center for Indigenous Cancer Research at Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Roswell Park is the oldest cancer center in the United States, established in the mid-1800s, and it's an NCI designated comprehensive cancer center, and it's a standalone facility, not attached to any universities, although we do have academic departments, hospital and research departments within. Today I want to share a little bit about the conversations around data and data sovereignty and what that means to tribes and communities and urban communities and our indigenous people as a whole. I think that data is really important. It gives us the opportunity to look at things that have occurred in the past, things that are occurring now in the future, and then looking forward to future generations and how the data can interplay historically, currently, and what that benefit from the data means to future generations. And data comes in many forms. It comes in, for example, qualitative type interviews, ethnographic type interviews, where stories are shared about various topics. It could be health, it could be cultural stories, it could be origin stories, it could be many things. Data also comes in the form of assessments, scales, surveys, and that's another form of data, often in what we would call maybe a primary data collection, where you're going out and collecting data. Data also comes in a secondary form, for example, in medical records, looking at the history of medical records over time. Data also comes in the form of biologicals, so biological data that we ourselves, and looking at how we are today compared to in the past, or what that means to the future. And data is also seen in our beautiful environment here, in the woods, in the forests, in the rivers, in the air. All these different things are data points that are part of who we are as Ongwe or people. These are all really important. I think I don't look at data as a form of pros or cons. I look at data as an opportunity and a way to really proactively understand our relationship to many things in our world and in the way in our being, whether it be with the person, our relationships to the earth, many things. Data can explain that and have the opportunity to be part of that storyline, what it means from past to the present and to the future. But what's really important about the data conversation is how tribes are integrated into the ability to, one, collect data, two, store data, and three, analyze data. Those are kind of three pillars of what data means in our the way we can use it. There's a lot of data within our tribes, within our First Nations communities, within our Iwis, whatever indigenous community you come from around the world. We have data, cultural data, health data, all these different things. And it's really important to understand that we as indigenous nations have the ability to govern that data, to protect that data, to oversee that data, and to utilize that data however the community and the tribal government has what the community wants to do with the data, and the government wants to do that, tribal government wants to do with that data. And then there's other factors, right? There's states, there's other governments that are around us, like the US or Canada or whatever it may be. And what's that relationship between university centers or cancer centers in relation to that data and tribal data? That's a really important thing to understand, is that relationship. Now we have most institutions have what's called an institutional review board for ethics, or an IRB. And a growing number of tribes also have tribal IRBs that are recognized in various contexts. But what I would say is that those are really important. Those have been growing over time, and the understanding and the outreach around what data ethics means in various contexts is really important. And the tribal sovereignty that has that provides self-determination around these concepts of ethics and governance is really important. But what also is really important is how the creation of data user agreements that go maybe perhaps above and beyond a tribal resolution or an agreement, a resolution being 1 or 2 pages, an IRB application meaning an application that's multiple pages, but also we should be considering, because many of our tribes have legal teams or contract for legal agreements, to understand what's that legal relationship now between indigenous nations, between universities, between cancer centers. So I bridge into that. It's like beyond the IRB, it's understanding the ethics and sharing education around tribal IRB and tribal governance and what that means in a sovereign context. But what does that also mean in a legal arena between tribes, institutions, and then the bidirectional use of data? So that's what I really wanted to share today in regards to data governance, the ability to take our own data and use it in a way that is meaningful, moving forward with data using a good mind. Good mind means embracing what's important for our communities, walking in a path and using data in a path that provides resiliency, that provides health and wellness for future generations, with a good frame of mind and a good mindset on how we can continue and sustain who we are as Ongway people. So I leave you with that. The benefit of creating these concepts around using an IRB, but understanding that we have the tribal authority and sovereignty around creating data user agreements, using data that helps our future generations. And that's what it's all about. That's why we're all here today. That's what we're talking about, the benefit in our communities and what that means for our future generations. So with that, I'll leave you. I appreciate the opportunity to share today. I apologize for not being able to be there in person, but I am very thankful for all the work that you're all doing. Yahweh.